there's a certain shape it has to have, like we talked about. It's got to be straight from behind, and then from the side we have to have those 3 curves. Here we are looking at you from behind. All right, so that's your left hip, that's your right hip. And the biggest thing I want you to see is that your hips are actually pretty balanced. You see that there? What I'm seeing, though, is you see how the spine goes to the left there as it goes up and over? I wouldn't call that a full-blown scoliosis. But what I would say is that there's like a bowing there in that lower back, which is creating a weakness. And so where that arrow's going in, we want to make sure we push that back over and get nice alignment, or else it's like driving your car on bad alignment. Here, down at the bottom here, you see where your zipper is? There's a point where those 2 pubic bones come together. Remember what that's called? Pubic symphysis. Why would they come together? Hey, Mom, we were just talking about anatomy. Bradley's anatomy class. So there we go. We have the pubic symphysis. All right, that needs to be on that line as well. All right, so we need to have that nice alignment like that. Other one I'm going to show you here is your lower back. All right, so this is the lower part of your back on a side view. Remember I said those 3 curves need to be as close to 45 degrees? That's the strongest angle, is 45 degrees. What we're getting in your lower back there is actually 17 degrees. So we need to get more of a curve there, which is going to help create a stronger lower back. The way it is right now, I'm already seeing signs of disc compression. That's where that arrow is there, meaning that your disc space is narrowing, and that's mainly because we've lost that curve. All right, so it's like a bad biomechanical situation, basically, that we want to make sure that we get that curve because that gives us strength and the proper position for the disc. Here we are looking at you from behind in the upper back. All right, that's your left shoulder, that's your right shoulder. These numbers, 2, 2, 3, and 1, they tell me how many degrees off of being perfectly straight we are. So remember, from behind we want to be perfectly straight, and from the side we want the 3 curves. So when I look at this picture, I say, okay, 8's not horrible. I want to see that number, when I add them all up, to be under 5 degrees. So this one's actually probably your strongest x-ray. We just need to straighten it out some. It's not horrible by any means. The last one we had was the side view of your neck. And this here, we measured at 19 degrees. So remember I said before it needs to be as close to 45 degrees. So this one's about 50% less than it needs to be. But again, there's no permanent damage. It's something I'd see to be very correctable. Last 2 things I want to point out on this one is right there. You see how it says 3/4 of an inch forward? Your forward head translation is bringing your head forward like this. And we want to make sure we bring it back so that you're nice and neutral. And so we get that by basically drawing a line from the back of this bone straight down. And that part there needs to be directly over top of that bone there. So it needs to be brought back some. The top 2, C1 and the base of your skull, those lines need to be parallel to one another. So your skull line looks good, but your C1 is flattened out. That's an area that would cause headaches. It could affect allergies. It could affect a number of things. And so we want to make sure we move that back in the right position, and that's going to get pressure off your nerve system there. Basically just relieving stress and irritation from your nerves. Nothing I'm seeing is showing me like major damage, but there's areas that we need to clean up so that they don't create damage for you down the line. Mm-hmm. All right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions for me? All right, I'm going to stop this now.